La balle de golf est la pièce d'équipement qui fait le plus jaser par les temps qui courent. Peu importe ce qui se retrouvera dans votre sac de golf dans les prochaines années, peu importe la distance qu'elle franchira, il n'en reste pas moins que la fabrication, c'est fascinant et surtout très complexe. On est ici même à Liberty, en Caroline du Sud, emplacement de l'usine mondiale des balles TaylorMade TP5, TP5X et Tour Response. C'est ici qu'elles sont fabriquées puis acheminées à travers le monde. Vous allez voir qu'avant même de la déposer sur votre thé pour votre premier coup de départ, dites-vous qu'elle a fait un bon bout de chemin. Tour guidé avec le directeur des opérations, Kenny Reinhardt.
Good afternoon, everyone. Kenny Reinhardt with TaylorMade Golf. It's a pleasure to have you guys with us today. We're going to take an in-depth tour of the factory and the facility from the beginning of the golf ball all the way through when we put it in final packaging and it's off to the consumer. A little bit of history about the facility. We're 130,000 square feet. This building has been here for roughly 10 years. You're going to see some high levels of automation we're very proud of. Just some facts and figures. The factory is responsible for about 3 to 3.2 million dozen golf balls a year. So if you take that number times 12, that's the number of balls that we do. Typically, you'll see on a daily average of about 10,000 dozen per day that moves through the factory. So the first place we're going to stop off at, we call the nursery. So that's where the mantles are actually cooled, beginning of the process. So let's go take a look. First step of the process in molding a golf ball is when we deal with the core. We use core and mantle. We kind of intermingle those terms. What that is the heartbeat and the engine of the golf ball. So what you're seeing behind me is the mantle cooling room. So we're actually taking those mantles and we're getting them to a specific temperature so that they're ready for the urethane molding process. So we measure a couple of attributes here. We look at time, and we look at temperature, and we look at humidity. Typically you'll see a hopper of cores that need to sit in there about 8 hours approximately to reach a certain temperature. There is a situation where if the room were, let's say, partially full, that I can meet that temperature prior to that 8-hour time. So we look at both. We look at time and temperature. One of the things you'll notice that'll stand out is the difference in colors that are behind me. That's a real easy indicator of what ball construction that is. That's one of the easier ways for us to get it right. So a TP5 is going to have a different color than a TP5X so that we don't get those mixed up. Welcome to the most advanced automated molding system that is in the world. Standing behind me is the next facet of our facility and our process where we actually cast urethane mold. The mantles that you saw earlier are perfectly cooled. They've met the time limit. Now we're going to mold those into a molded state. So we're going to start the actual begin process of golf ball building. So what you're going to end up with is a urethane cover around a mantle, and we got a lot more processes to go. The machine behind us, it can do the tune of 90,000 dozen per month, so it makes a lot of golf balls. Now that we have a molded golf ball, so we have a mantle that's covered with urethane in a molded state, we need to prepare that ball for a very important critical process that's beyond where we are right now. This room is for what I'll call surface finishing. So we're actually prepping the surface of that golf ball in order for it to take paint, that paint to adhere, and to make sure that we have the durability that we need. The assets in this room are surface finish prep. So one of the things that you'll notice as we progress through the process, this room is a considerably cooler than the previous rooms that we've been in. In the stamping process, it's very important to control both that temperature and humidity, as important as it was when we were dealing with the core and the mantle. The machines behind me are a pad print style. They're printing the PIX ball, so all the symbols that are on the PIX ball, this is where that happened. Interesting fact of that is every one of those emblems that are on that ball are in the same place every time. So we are rotating that ball a certain amount of degrees each time, and we're stamping that. So there's 16 different stamping operations in the machine behind me. So now we start talking accuracy. This is where accuracy is critical, because I need to be in the same place at the same time every time, because I'm moving the orange color in, then I'm moving the black color in. So our level of precision has greatly intensified with the machines that we're talking about now. When we leave PIX, when we leave the pad printers, we have got a stamp ball, we've got our side stamp, we've got our identity. Now we just need to find a home, I call it. The next piece of the puzzle is the actual finished packaging, where we'll sleeve the dozens, we'll put them into the lids and trays, they're off to the distribution center or off to the consumer. So we're standing in every golfer's dream. In and around me are thousands and thousands of golf balls. As you can see, the stripe that I have in my hand. These balls are finished. They started in the Mantle Cool Room. They've gone all through the process. They have the paint applied. In this case, they have the stripe. So the next piece of the process is for us to pack those out and get them out into the hands of the golfers. I hope you've enjoyed today. I hope it was entertaining and you got to learn something great. Thank you.